Steven, what you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't think on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You no personal opinion, nothing?
Can't. Especially you.
That's all I ever did.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I want to stick to boxing before I veer off into questions like that. I know later on it was proven that he was cheating, and I don't know if he ever fought, actually won after they found out he was cheating.
Donna Davis and Floyd Mayweather are it. Once more following the startling revelation from referee Steve Willis regarding a purported bribery between Gervonta and him, Floyd, a member of Davis' crew, is one man whose reaction to Tank's most recent controversy that many had anticipated, but for some reasons, the legendary boxer approached the matter in silence at this time. He's been the first to voice his opinion, claiming to have known this about Devin all along. Davis and his group recall Floyd. Frank Martin received advice from Mayweather and wished for him to triumph over Von Davis. Sadly, he was unable to get what he wanted. Alongside Frank,
went to go somewhere in the powerful power. Nui deserved to be in the powerful power? Absolutely. Do Terrence Crawford deserve to be in?
And it belongs to him. The greatest delight to witness Gervonta Davis's fall, less than a perfect winning record. Floyd Mayweather unexpectedly disclosed an alternative viewpoint on a tail Tank, presented during Floyd stated in an interview last month. For one thing, Von Davis didn't wish to participate in Mayweather promotions were due to the fact that he was providing him with the best battles and obstacles that will push him to the absolute top. But he and his groups desired to fight jerks and keep your record undefeated. Document. This, however, was the point of contention between the two parties that resulted in Gervonta Davis' desire to leave Mayweather advancements and eventually becoming expelled from Mayweather's gym. As a result of Floyd, Von Davis didn't have what it took to engage in regular combat with top fighters' basis, therefore he chose to earn a living out of fighters at the mid-level, and that was his target is Lamont Roach. Sadly, things didn't work out as Von Davis was scheduled to have a challenging evening against Lamont Roach.
In the powerful power? Absolutely. But what about Gervonta Tank Davis? He deserved to be somewhere also in the powerful power.
Why don't they give him that credit?
Because he was a
Mayweather as well said he had too many clever schemes due to Von Davis and because of his refusal to go after them. They had to split up when Floyd Mayweather appeared in an interview, outlining his intentions for before things went awry. Von Davis Floyd was questioned months ago regarding the purpose of the video, which resulted in a renewed conflict between Tank Davis and him. And he responded by discussing Gervonta Davis initially.
I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. And
my item is that I've supported him consistently since we had a game plan. And my game on the first day, the idea was to assist him in becoming a world champion and proceed to the next level. And I've always supported him. I've consistently been optimistic over the years. Always expressed admiration for him, always encouraged him to excel. But during the years, he's continuously on the online to try to hit Floyd, being disrespectful all the time while I've always tried to be respectful by assist this fighter in reaching his full potential. My go. That's all I ever did. He then made a reference to the well-known video in which he was accused of mailing by Dant Davis. He refuted Von Davis's allegations in an attack and clarified his goals by saying they frequently enjoy making comparisons, certain fighters, and I add that specific items. And they claim that he is hating nothing has changed since I spoke on the GAN issue.
With Gervonta.
all fighters. I said I need all the young fighters that's making money in the sport of boxing. What I need you guys to do is do this.
For instance, when I said that I need all the young fighters making money in the sport of boxing.
For example, I mentioned that I require all of the young fighters to earn money in the boxing sport, and what I require do this. You guys, regardless of whether it's Louis Mercedes, Gucci, and Chrome, Hearts must use our funds and make investments in real estate to enable us to live similarly wonderful life after our careers are finished. So since he's the only one, I suppose he took that as the person who dons Chrome Hearts is the only one wearing Louis Vuitton is the sole individual wearing a Mercedes. We have fighters. As of the last time I checked, people who wear top flight, all around the world clothing that is profitable. Even the fighters who are not well compensated find a method for flying whips and jets.
Brother, it's Chrome Heart, Gucci, Louis, Mercedes. We need to take our money and invest in real estate so that we can live that same great life when our careers are over. So I guess that
Floyd was questioned regarding the top 5 participants in the division of lightweight, and as of right now, he replied nicely that I feel like the guys are the biggest punchers. Von Davis is likely to arrive at 35, although the most proficient combatant will undoubtedly be Stevenson Shocker.
he want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end. So
It became so severe that Floyd Shocker Stevenson was involved with Mayweather, misrepresented Von Davis's altercation, and mocked the Baltimore winner in April, a few days following the major altercation between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Mayweather launched a tirade toward, and he termed them an anonymous group of boxers, criticized for failing to take the craft seriously, and instead concentrating on how they look after them. Pretty boy Floyd utilized using his career as a benchmark. According to the athlete, they're just searching at the culmination of his identity as inspiration rather than the effort he made to arrive there.
Y'all looking at the end results. Y'all not looking at the shit where y'all go look at the interview and Zab gonna tell y'all, you know, with me being champion.
Frequently, what the combatants are observing with the vehicles they're searching for at Floyd's ostentatious behavior, Mayweather said, "Listen, dude, I made a lot of sacrifices you're all considering at the conclusion outcome, and when I was champion, I still have hundreds of millions in the bank. I was working out at the gym, and you guys are concerned about your attire the way your boots appear concerned about the many of you fighters are doing the wrong things. Living check to verify."
those are lifetime losses. And you know, as long as you know you went out there and gave it 100% in that square circle, if you know you gave it 100% and you happy with what you did when you went out there, then that's what it is.
What it is. Right.
The most terrible thing was how Floyd Mayweather wasn't just a partisan against Davis in his most recent bout, but moreover behaved in a way that wasn't likely to after Vaughn. He was a boxing legend. The loss Davis experienced on Instagram post regarding the cancellation of the battle, not only that, but he also foresaw a conflict. That was obviously a simple victory for Dan. Davis offered Frank a 50-50th split. Martin some advice on how to defeat the Tank this time. Davis and Von Davis are at odds. Thought of so much that he had summoned Von Davis's opponent in secret, Frank Martin, and instructed him on how to defeat Tank Davis, even if it didn't unresponsive ears or if Floyd's the directions were insufficient. So I'm not sure. But on fight night, Frank Martin, who appeared to put on a fantastic performance, failed in the initial rounds after the 8th minute and 49 seconds around one of Von Davis's powerful blows, earned Von by taking him flat on the canvas. Davis's 30th career victory. Davis, however, the issue wasn't even there. The involvement was the true problem of Floyd Mayweather, who was obviously at odds with Gervonta Davis, who is among the most spectacular battles between men. Recent historical protege feuds. Frank Martin disclosed in one of his several Floyd's pre-fight interviews, Mayweather had provided some assistance in the past of the battle with the intention of retaliating Gervonta Davis's rude behavior toward he. It appeared as a shock to boxing enthusiasts and experts when the Spectre Martin disclosed that he has been getting guidance from the former mentor of Gervonta Davis and promoter Floyd Mayweather, that the lightweight duo clashed in the ring at Las Vegas's MGM Grand Garden Arena with Von Tank Davis on June 15th, keeping his membership in the World Boxing Association title.
He loves to embrace guys, so what was being around talking to Floyd? Like, what has Floyd taught you about fighting, and has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does.
And as anticipated, there was quiet. The two are having a nasty conversation. Davis, "You're still going into the combat, Tank," was a strong favorite, but despite showing up in the pivot pod that was posted on YouTube prior to the Challenger battle, when Frank Martin made the Mike Tyson East public, Money Mayweather had been offering guidance him to get the advantage during his Gervonta Davis's battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, cause
Martin, Frank acknowledges Floyd Mayweather's guidance makes him feel special as a result. Floyd Mayweather has already lashed out at I do look out at those vying for his head. What I wish to do, and help everyone I feel. Is there a crime involved? In that, Frank meeting me for advice was a mistake. If Tank shows up, I would also tell him to what's wrong with me. Everyone. Davis had been in Mayweather's corner. Despite their separation and the different variations between them over time generally speaking, Davis has always revered the former world champion. But with the brawl between Davis Martin and alliances undoubtedly changed the champion.
I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become...
Particularly given that the widely reported internet battle between Mayweather and Tank last month. So, when inquired as to whether anything Floyd Mayweather had taught Martin, Martin said this prior to the bout. He might tell you to go for a run at 2 o'clock the morning because, the majority of the time, we are aware that your opponent stays there. According to the Detroit, Michigan native, time not that ally in particular needed Martin to work out during those times, but instead as he outlined how doing so would provide him with the mental strength over his rival, as they are the small details that add up to a large. Martin stressed the final distinction, saying he didn't know anything about it or was significant, but originating from someone similar to Floyd, who has demonstrated the highest moment in the game.
And take things to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always.
Your opponent will require a great deal of heave, and it will provide you with an alternative kind of encouragement when you do it. Said additionally, Martin stated that even when Floyd demonstrates something that a fighter might not be able to replicate it flawlessly, but it will provide you with a distinct sense of interestingly. That's precisely what Mike Tyson did prior to his strives to acquire a mental advantage over his opponents. It's no surprise that he became the youngest heavyweight champion, and subsequently at 3 o'clock, an undisputed champion runs cutting wood in the morning, and just a handful of Mike Tyson's would do in order to get a leg up on his rivals. But neither Tyson's, neither Floyd's counsel, nor the training regimen were capable of preventing Von Davis from performing what he was going to perform on Fight Night. Davis, who has just been laid off for a year due to the hit-and-run incident he was participating in 2022 and spent 90 days in Baltimore prison, won first place on an 8th round on Fight Night knockout.
9 out of 10, we know your opponent sleep at that time. So go run at 2 in the morning and go give yourself a mental edge, you know, like, cause you know you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running. That's a lot of the times your opponent.
His skills were not diminished by the gap in his resume. Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in the ring. April of last year was his most recent appearance, and concluded with a comparable outcome, really in opposition to Frank Martin, proceeding to. The battle between Davis and Frank Martin Mayweather encouraged UFC viewers to watch, rather than after the two exchanged jabs at social media with one another. Famous boxing Michael Benson, a reporter, published.
On X that your fight was canceled the last couple of weeks.
He's the one told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Floyd Gervonta Davis and Mayweather are still together. Mayweather's trolls poisoned their feud by stating that the battle between Frank Martin and been canceled. And Tank continues to reply, I'll pull up to your house and we can discuss and touch you. Davis continued to Martin is brutally knocked unconscious on Saturday, as well as in an interview following the boxing superstar's battle disclosed that Mayweather had made an effort to provide his advice from his opponent on how to defeat him. He was offering Frank advice and other things. But I'm positive that wasn't going to be sufficient to defeat me. It's awesome. It's okay. I don't actually believe that for the most part. He won't harm me. You understand that it's preferable to beef with him rather than being at ease with.
Friday, he told Frank that he was giving Frank the tips and stuff.
Really? How'd you know that? Just word of mouth?
I seen his people.
Floyd Mayweather was the one, you know. Frank was informed by whom I was jogging at 5 o'clock at some point. Gervonta Davis had stated that he was prepared to compete in the ring, with Floyd Mayweather putting his name in the list of conversations. With Davis, Najee's Pierre's cigar talk brought up the conflict with Mayweather, which led to a significant comment from the native of Baltimore. Many individuals are unaware of Floyd's activities. Was aimed at me, and I felt certain I went because he was aiming at me. I have no cause to go at him. Floyd stated that Davis was talking to the first thing Mayweather said that he was the target of thinking.
Drive by while I was running.
Oh, really? Yeah. So they were like spying her, kind of?
No. got a club. We got a club called Barrel Collection.
Oh, okay.
Closed at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And they saw that potential where I was running. But I knew for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat.
Najee brought out the fact that over Davis and Floyd's dynamics throughout those years appeared to be a love-hate partnership. Davis denied it outright while asserting that he had exceeded Floyd's. I'm about to leave a legacy where I am passing him now, and I'm doing it while Davis wasn't. But youthful age, said Tank. Finished demonstrating his argument as he went on to announcing a new contract he has signed based on many reports. Mayweather's 2013 Showtime agreement was valued at $200 million. For his remarks on the In the Mr. J. Hill podcast, Davis revealed Mayweather's situation.
Yeah. Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After that second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
When you're near someone you admire, you appreciate Mayweather. You understand they're not who they are supposed to be. It's disappointing and painful. So I just leave my own manner and carry out my own tasks within certain circumstances. Floyd put me in situations where I lose, such as my first fight for the world title versus Jose Pedraza. I was 16. There had not been a fight in 7 or 8 years. Months while earning little money. They returned and fought for perhaps $10,000 each. Informed me that I must battle him if I would have been shelled if I hadn't fought him. Evicted and undoubtedly had to sell my car. That's what Floyd did. I was purposely allowing other boxers to understand what was going on and provide them games to prevent them from getting there now. When they claim they wish to battle me, it seems to nevertheless, he continued. I respect and thank him for his actions. But it was more like he gave me roughly 10,000 crumbs, or $15,000 to assist my mom in leaving the neighborhood. Not only that, she would return to the hood in a few months, and I would request I also discover that someone can place you in a place where you require them constantly giving you enough food to keep you returning. After I was added to they began with the same management as Floyd, assuming control of my career.
Joseph Pedraza, my first world title. I was 16-0. I was 21 at the time, and I haven't fought.
Legend of Boxing Tank was piloted by Mayweather during the most of his professional life, as Davis multiple weight world titles divisions and gained widespread recognition as among the most thrilling combatants in the 2022 sport, and the two split up. And it appears that things have become hostile. Both persons have since been sacked. Insults directed in the other way in the years after. Davis has now disclosed that his previous mentor he once got into a battle with Mayweather where Tank should lose, he said, explaining to the how things happened in the J. Hill podcast. Hearing these things is never pleasant, but at least Davis has revealed what occurred with Mayweather and his advertising firm.
In like 7 or 8 months, and around that time, I wasn't making that much money. I probably was making like 10,000 a fight. So 6 months is crazy to not fight, you know? So when they came back and it was like, all right, you gotta.
Speaking about Floyd Mayweather, and Shocker Stevenson likened his proficiency to Pernell's Whitaker, who wasn't particularly strong but had the ability to compete against the greatest and defeat them. In my opinion, the contract is about to expire. Thus, I'm hoping we can get together so I can raise him to the necessary level and make the alter cat irons that he
fight. He was like, you gotta fight this fighter, which is Joseph Pedraza. If you don't fight him, you're not fighting. You're sitting on the show.
Floyd Mayweather appeared on the show as questioned about his feelings following Roy Jones Jr. asserted that he should be referred to as the greatest TB ever, more than any other. In response, he responded, "Good, everyone, for first of all, everyone has the right to their own viewpoint, and I'm happy Roy Jones feels that about himself. Each combatant that provided the boxing sport with its entire life and made several internal sacrifices, they ought to feel that squared circle. Consequently, if he feels that way, you know more about his power."
It's coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want, and make the fights happen that he want.
I'm in one battle, and the battle took place at catchweight. However, I didn't think someone could go online, and this was an article, so pull it up. I once thought that Canelo believed that I was afraid of him. Floyd doesn't want to because he's scared. I'm willing to meet him at 152 if you fight me, or PBS, and I dialed his number. 152 and 2, said, if you want to do it, bluffing. At 152 or 152 and 2, let's do it. But after, it wasn't like the weight that Canelo made was a specific clause that he was unable to weight gain. He was 152 or 152 and I believe he arrived around 168 to 170, but I arrived at 151 or 152. But Roy Jones is an incredible. He has made significant contributions to the sport of boxing, and Roy has my utmost admiration.
Gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle. They should feel that way. So if he feels that way, more power to him. I had one.
Davis and Mayweather collaborated closely, with Mayweather's goal of shaping Davis became a household name. The partnership was quite solid, and they had a mentor in common, protege bond. But it all started when Floyd Mayweather participated in a conversation with enthusiasm for the match and reprimanded boxers who were so much after things that weren't luxury, observing their abilities, and for now, that's all for the best. Updates on current affairs, events, and activities in the boxing world. Continue to stay in touch with us by signing up for our YouTube channel. And remember to click on alerts to receive alerts when we release high-quality material like this. Until peace out the next time.